We have some pretty crazy news from major cryptocurrencies going up 800% in a day. This happened in the past and it will happen again. I want to show you something. To Elon Musk buying Tesla stock for the first time in 5 years, to more and more companies adopting the Bitcoin standard. We'll be going through why we're seeing a bit of a pullback right now. If you don't mind, though, hit subscribe so you can see future videos. Also, you can still sign up for BYDeFi. Underneath the video, you can start trading in just a few minutes. You don't have to KYC. You don't need a VPN. And we have this deposit bonus going on right now where you can get up to $2,000 bonus. If you deposit just $100, you still get a $50 bonus. So check this out underneath the video. As we can see, Bitcoin's experiencing a bit of a pullback. That's to be expected when we go from 107,000 up to 117,000. It's not crazy to think that we'll see a bit of a pullback. We're down about $2,500 from the recent peak. Most of this is just due to liquidations in my mind. We have $351 million worth of longs liquidated. So there are some manipulators causing liquidations today. Not a big deal. The traditional markets still look really good. The Nasdaq's up another 0.7%. The S&P 500's up 0.4%. Both these are at all-time highs. It seems like the stock market just continues to rally day in and day out. We have seen a bit of a pullback, like I said, on Bitcoin, and that means we're seeing a pullback on other cryptocurrencies. While Bitcoin's down just under 1%, Ethereum's down 2.4%, down at about $4,500. Solana's down about 4.25%, and so on. Dogecoin kind of leading the way, down 7%. Now, in 7-8 hours, we'll start seeing the ETFs roll in. They've been big accumulators the last week of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Obviously, that'll be interesting to take a look at. Right now, though, we know that Strategy has been acquiring some Bitcoin. Not a big week. I kind of figured that it would be a big week because Bitcoin had bounced really well and Strategy was kind of lagging behind. But they acquired 525 Bitcoin for about $60 million. I say that's not a lot. Keep in mind, $60 million is about 1/4 the size of their first ever buy. And it took them a very long time to buy that first buy. And now they're just doing this every week. They're just acquiring more and more. So right now they hold 638,985 Bitcoin. They've acquired it for $47.2 billion, and it's worth about $73.2. The majority of what they sold this week comes in the form of Strife, Strike, and Stride. There was nothing from MSTR, so they didn't dilute shareholders at all this week. Another company launching a $100 million Bitcoin treasury, Hyperscale Data. I've never heard about them, or I've never heard of that company, but every single day there are more and more companies buying Bitcoin and announcing treasury strategies. Multicoin Solana Fund just bought $1.58 billion worth of Solana. A lot of Sol strategies, or a lot of Solana treasury strategies recently. We just covered one yesterday that had been accumulating billions of dollars over the last week. Multicoin buying over $1 billion. Again, with Solana being at its market cap, which is just almost 1/20th, just maybe 1/18th or something like that of Bitcoin. If someone buys $1 billion worth of Solana, it's going to move up the price much faster than $1 billion of Bitcoin. This is pretty crazy news. Elon Musk bought Tesla stock on the open market for the first time since 2020. He bought 1.9 million shares on September 12th. The prices were between $371 and $396. The total cost was around $736 million. Seems like Elon thinks the S-curve for Tesla isn't far away. I was actually talking with someone recently that has been looking to build up a big Tesla position, and I thought it was interesting because I've been doing the exact opposite. I've actually sold Tesla this year. I had Tesla as my biggest holding, but part of it is personal because I feel like I don't need to take a swing on Tesla when I already have, Bitcoin, and I have the S&P 500, which has some Tesla, and then I have other big tech companies. But when I look at this company from a fundamental standpoint, it's ugly. The last 2 years have been sideways in terms of revenue growth. Look at that. The last, 10 quarters or so? Sideways revenue. Vehicles delivered has gone down. EBITDA has gone down. Net income's gone down. Free cash flow has gone down. EPS has gone down. Their cash position has gone slightly better, but their return on capital has gone way down. Their expenses have still gone up slightly from a couple of years ago. They're still diluting shareholders just slightly. They're not buying back shares. And they're selling at the highest valuation I've seen for Tesla stock. Their price to earnings, trailing 12 months, is 221. I realize, though, that we're in a high interest rate environment and cars have gone smashed and they're looking at robots and full self-driving. I just feel like the companies that have so much free cash flow, that are so profitable, like Google and Amazon and these other types of companies, will probably be able just to throw a lot of money at the problem. I realize that they don't have all the same numbers that Tesla has with their FSD, but I don't know. I don't like paying 200x on a company that's not growing. Even if they have some big thing that could happen in their future, I'd rather bet on the company that is producing, $115 billion a year in net income. I'd rather bet on that company that they could figure it out, recruit some of the top talent, pay a ton of money for it, and then make it work if need be, if they want to. So I don't know. It's interesting, though. I'm not sure if this is just kind of a show of good faith because Elon was put up for that $1 trillion stock package. I'm not exactly sure, but this is helping the stock. I'm glad for everyone that's been making money in it. Like I said, I sold it more recently, but I still came out with a profit on it, reinvested it into some other companies, which, yeah, Tesla's done really well right now, but so has Google and Amazon and these other companies. I think Google's up 50% from the bottom, maybe a little bit more than that right now. But Tesla is doing really well. Over year to date, it's only up 11%, but over the last 6 months, it took that dip during March and April during the tariff frenzy. And it's up 77% over the last 6 months, 86% over the last year, 186% over the last 5 years. So cool to see that. Cool to see Elon reinvesting in the company. And yeah, some people think like this is crazy, this 5% move today, 6% move. Gear up for what's coming in crypto. The 2021 Doge pump caused Dogecoin to go up 800% in one day. This is when it was just at 7 cents. This is what alt season is. So be ready. There's going to be craziness that happens in crypto. Unless we just get the most boring cycle of all time and there are no pumps and we actually don't see a dump either. Like, to see a big dump, I think you need to see a big pump first. So maybe we just chop higher like we have for the last 2 years. But I would expect some altcoins to go up substantially. Obviously, Dogecoin wasn't in the top 5 or something, top 10 even when it started to pump. But by the end, it was like a top 5 crypto. So be ready for shakeups, be ready for adrenaline, be ready for profit taking too. There's going to be some insane moves on the way. So be ready, gear up, rest up, pay attention. If you want to trade, there are links underneath the video to BYDeFi. If you had snagged that 800% gain at a 10x, there's an 80x. That would be nice. Of course, that's really hard to time, pretty much impossible, which is why I don't try to trade the lower caps. I just trade the bigger caps and I use low leverage to be able to get extra exposure, especially when I feel under allocated to a certain position. I'll come in here and add extra exposure that way. Of course, I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.